John, we're on a mission.
A
mission from God.
To review this actually good movie.
An actual good movie that I actually grew up with ever since I was 5, and I have watched thousands of times. It's called The Blues Brothers. When did it come out, John?
Well, Well, the movie, it was made in 1980.
And if you're wondering why we're wearing shades, I'll try to get it into the video here. They wear these suits the whole movie, and the shades. So we're gonna stay in character and wear these shades, even though it's night, because we don't give a fuck. So, you've seen the movie now for 3 times.
2 times.
2 times. So what do you think of it, huh?
Well, I still think it's a very good movie, better than our last 2 movies reviewed.
Hey, it's not a porno, okay? It's not a porno. God forbid.
Sorry to disappoint you.
Sorry to disappoint you. Okay, so I'm going to start off with the first scene. So, we have a guy. We don't know what his name is. Okay, wait, I should start off with the stars first. The stars of the movie are Dan Aykroyd. You might know who he is. He's famous for playing in Ghostbusters. And John Belushi. You might not know who he is. He's a famous actor from the 70s. They're both on Saturday Night Live, and that's pretty much it. So first scene. Let's see. We got a random guy who is in prison, and he's getting released early. And he gets all his shit, and what does he get back?
Oh, he gets back all kinds of stuff. Starts off with a condom, non-used, and then a used one.
A used condom, $27.05.
Some nice
shades. Nice shades.
Black
shoes. A black suit.
Black suit, white shirt, black tie, and of course a black fedora.
And he signs there, and he puts an X. So, let's start this shit off. He gets released. And there waiting for him is his brother wearing the exact same clothes. They embrace, and the title comes up. The Blues Brothers.
Of course.
And they this is where the shenanigans start.
See, the moment he's out of jail, they start breaking the law. They got a fucking bridge coming up. He's like talking about the cars, like, you know, he sold the car, and they're in this car that was they got from a police auction, whatever. And he's like, you don't fucking like it? And then the bridge is going up because, you know, bullets have to get through. He decides to put pedals in the metal and goes right over the bridge.
As it's going up, it's like one of these bridges. Exactly. So he goes up, and lands the car, which would in real life destroy the transmission and shit like that.
So he uses the excuse, it is a police car.
Sorry, Robin's being a little bitch.
Yeah, my cat. Police. She wasn't hurt. Just a little nudge with the foot. It's a police struts. Police shock struts and tires.
Yeah, it's an old police car from the 1970s.
That's their excuse for the car's functionality until we get to the good parts.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay, so they right after they get out of they leave the prison after that little stunt with the bridge, they go to an old orphanage where they were raised because they I guess they're orphans. So they go back there, and his brother Jake, the guy who just got released, he's like, I'll describe the scene. What are we doing here? We gotta go talk to the penguin, the nun. You know how nuns dress is black and white.
She's like a fucking Batman villain.
They call her the penguin. And he's like, no, I'm not going to. And Jake's like, well, no, Elwood's like, but you promised her the day you went to prison you come and see her after you got out.
Like, I lied!
Well, so I lied to her. You can't lie to a nun. So you gotta go in there and talk to the penguin. And this is his line, and he loves this.
No fucking way!
No fucking way. They still go in. So, this scene pissed him off because he's a hardcore anti-Christian, anti-Catholic. So, hold on, I gotta sneeze.
And that, my friends, is called the dab. And that's how stupid it was.
Okay.
And that's why it died, because we tried it.
Okay, yes.
Enough of that now. Calm yourself.
I can't.
We're too cool. We're wearing shades.
You're wearing shades. Yes, we're too cool. Okay, so I'm gonna let him describe this scene because you just love Catholicism so much.
Basically, they walk in. It's kind of haunted because, you know, she's weird. And basically, they call him up, you know, and she tells him
doors closed by themselves.
Of course. Tells them that the orphanage is getting shut down because the church doesn't want to pay to keep the rent going. And so he offers them, hey, we'll get you.
Let me describe this one. Okay. So they're sitting in the little chairs like you know you're in class. And he tells them all the financial situation, and they're like, oh, forget it, we can get the money in the morning. Stolen money, because they're both criminals. Let's go, Elwood. And she's like, no, I don't want to take your stolen money. And he's like, well, I guess you're really up shit creek. And then she fucking
Slaps
slaps
him with
the ruler.
A giant yardstick.
And then she's like, I beg your pardon, what did you say? And he's like, you refuse to take our money. So I said, I guess you're really up shit creek. Ow!
Alright, Elwood.
But then fucking she starts beating the shit out of him with a ruler.
And they keep cursing every time she hits them.
And then Elwood yells out, oh, fuck you, you fat fucking penguin! And she fucking breaks the ruler over their head.
And she grabs a metal rod.
A metal rod, starts fucking beating the shit out of him with it.
It says, never return!
They fall down the stairs.
Until you've
redeemed yourself. She fucking goes back, hovers back in the room.
Basically.
So, then they meet up with their, technically their father, who...
Kind of, because remember, they were raised in an
orphanage. The only family they have is this guy and
who loves the blues, who dress just like
us. Just like,
well,
just like on the movie cover. So...
And yes, before you ask, he's black.
Yes, he's black. So... long story short, they have a conversation, and Jake is a total atheist, like this guy. But to convince them...
pagan.
Fuck off. Alright. So, he encourages them to go to church. So...
You gotta go to church!
Oh yeah, we'll get to that part. So they go to this black church in the middle of, like I said, in Birdemic, East Bumfuck, I don't know what the hell it is. So, before they go in, I don't remember what he said, but Elwood's like, listen, we gotta redeem ourselves. We gotta go to church.
You gotta get to church.
And he's like, we gotta get the tax money, we gotta go to church. Bullshit. Fucking, it's like,
bullshit.
Bullshit.
My response every time my parents made me go to church, bullshit. Except with the best church for me since I was a little kid.
So, they go into this church, the black church, and again, long story short, it's a really long scene. It's like a huge party. How would you describe it?
Well, like a stereotypical black church that everyone thinks in the movies. Oh yeah, we're not racist. We're just telling you the stereotype.
There's fucking people doing acrobatics and shit like oh.
It gets crazy because anything you think of a stereotype black church, take that and add 100% more to it. It is crazy, crazy shit.
Crazy shit. So then Jake sees the light. So, the light, literally a light shines down from the heavens.
Leaves.
And he's like, I'll reenact it. The band. The band. The band.
Do you see the light? Do you see the light?
Do you see the light?
Why?
The pastor says, yes, for tap dancing Christ, I see the light.
And he starts doing a flip.
And he fucking does backflips and
down
shit.
the aisle.
And he goes to Elwood, he's like, the band! We gotta get the band back together! That's how we'll get the money for the church! For the orphanage. And then...
Well, orphanage, church, whatever.
Alright, so I'll skip this scene. So they both see the light, and they decide to get the band back together. But there's one problem. You describe this.
All the bullshit starts.
This is where all the bullshit
when
starts.
they run a yellow light.
Okay, well, let's describe for the yellow light. So the problem is we're getting the band back together. When Jake went to jail, Elwood, his brother, his job was to keep in touch with the band members. They used to have a band, by the way. But the problem is, he didn't do that. And Jake, this is funny. Jake says, so you lied to me for 3 years straight. I wouldn't call it lying, I just bullshitted you. It's just bullshit. So they gotta get in touch with the band members. But before we do that, let's get into the shenanigans.
So, as they're going along,
they run a yellow light. They get pulled over.
According to the cop, he said red light. It's like, no, yellow. It's like, just give him your license. And
so they give him his license, and they go back to the car, and they have this new data system that they can check their records.
And it's a bunch of crimes, and
so basically his license is suspended, the car is unregistered, he has multiple parking violations, and the computer says arrest driver. So
and it's like, yup, sounds right, and they get out of the car.
And they go up there and said, Elwood, your license is in suspension. Step out of the car, please. And he looks at his brother like this. Fucking steps on it. So that's the first crime, evading
and his brother's just like, what are you trying to do? I just got out of this and we're trying to reward me by putting me back in?
I've seen the movie thousands of times. I'll tell him what he said. First you lied to me about the microphone. Wait, first you sold the old car for a microphone. Then you lied to me about the band. Now you're gonna throw me right back in the joint. And Elwood's response is, no we're not. We're on a mission from God.
What a mission from God.
And that's the running joke of the movie. The running joke is that they never get caught by the cops or any of their enemies because God's protecting them. So, that's the running joke. So, they get chased by the cops for a while. And then they go into this mall parking lot. They go around and around, and Jake's like, "What the fuck are we gonna do? Okay, what the hell are we gonna do? Get us out of this parking lot." And Elwood's like, "All right, I'm gonna get out of this parking lot. Okay."
Right through a fucking mall.
Right through a Toys R Us.
And this mall is fucking
huge. It can fit fucking. It's like a tailgate. It can fit a tailgate party. It's that huge. So they drive through a Toys R Us, and they drive through the whole fucking mall.
Yeah, the entire.
And the cops follow them in, by the way.
Which wouldn't actually happen, but who gives a fuck? It's a movie.
No one dies. You don't see anybody get run over, but we're just gonna assume that multiple people get run over and they die.
And one cop complains, "He broke my watch!"
Eventually, both the cop cars crash in the mall because of all the piled up rubble, and the cop car flips. And the only complaint about this cop for this cop is, "They broke my watch."
And he's upside down.
Well, the whole mall is running around. There's chaos. There's people fucking dead on the floor. I'm just gonna assume. So they get away somehow. Now you can't tell me they just destroyed a whole mall, and they could pretty much cause the deaths of like maybe at least a dozen people.
Vehicular manslaughter.
Vehicular manslaughter. You can't tell me that the whole city wouldn't be looking for him. You could. They get away scot-free.
You get choppers on the news.
Yes, on the news.
Everything. They'd be down and
Plus,
down. And
they know where they live because now they got.
They're gonna have a detective on their trail.
Elwood gave the cop his license. They know where they live. They know their address, obviously. They know what they look like. They know what the car they look like. The car they're driving looks like. They know everything about them.
Everything.
And
so either these guys really suck or it's God.
It's God. It's God. It's just the running joke. It's God. So they go. Okay, I'll let you do something. So what do they do next? They go back to their apartment.
They do the crazy ex-girlfriend of who was it?
Okay, Jake Blues, the fat one I'm talking about, the one who just got out of jail.
And the ex-girlfriend is
before he went to jail, he was supposed to get married.
Yes.
And he stood her up accidentally because he went to prison and never told her. She's pissed off. And
she is played by none other than the woman who played Princess Leia.
Carrie Fisher.
So just imagine Princess Leia with her bun shooting at people. She wasn't dressed like Princess Leia, but just imagine.
That would have been fucking awesome.
Fucking shooting instead of fucking like AK-47.
She has a fucking bazooka.
She has a fucking bazooka.
So they check into this all-men's hotel in downtown Chicago, and she's waiting outside with this fucking bazooka. She aims right at Jake's head. Boom! Misses completely because of God.
They duck. He's like, duck! And
they duck. Like, oh shit! They duck.
And just remember, they stay calm throughout the entire.
They don't show no emotion.
They're just like, cool. Like, they're shades.
I didn't see Elwood smile at all.
Edward, he never smiled once.
So.
A little lie.
So, they just shrug it off. Oh yeah, someone shot a bazooka at us, our RPG. Whatever, let's get to the hotel. So this is like, they go up the stairs. And there's this one guy sitting on the midway up the stairs. They call him Sam. Hey Sam, doesn't move a muscle.
He's dead.
He's dead. He shows up again. But let's grab the next scene. They go up there.
He's going to the room. He talks to the guy on the desk. He's like, whatever. Tell him his brother's staying with him for a few days, weeks, whatever. They go in there. He's like, it's nothing much, but it's home, you know.
It's home.
Yes, like why? How many times does the train go by? Fucking shit.
Yeah, they're right near like a subway, like not a subway, but like a train. Again, it's a big city.
Say the train,
goes by. There's literally right outside the window. So Elwood's favorite thing to eat for dinner is just plain white toast with nothing on it. Toasted. And Jake falls asleep on his bed. He falls asleep in a chair, and we call it a night. So next morning.
Yeah, the cops come by, the detective.
Should have happened like hours before.
Oh yeah, it knocks on the door. Right before he kicks down the door, the ex-girlfriend, you see her.
Okay, somehow overnight, his ex-fiance, somehow installed explosives all over this building. So they're about to break down the door and arrest the two brothers. Right as they do that, she fucking presses a button. The whole fucking building explodes.
Yeah, the remote in her car thing. No, she doesn't push a button. She flips a switch.
And the whole fucking building blows up.
Yeah.
Presumably killing everybody in there.
Except for the cops.
The cops.
And the Blues Brothers.
So they get up out of this rubble. They're all, it's 9/11 pretty much. They fucking get up, covered in dust, and they cough, and they're
like, I gotta go to work.
It's time to go to work. So they go off nonchalantly, let's go to work. Cops get out, they're alive, but we're just gonna assume everybody else is dead in this men's hotel. So they go to work.
Well, one of them goes to work.
One of them goes to work.
And he's just doing bottles and stuff. And then he goes in and says, I gotta quit. Why you gotta quit? I'm becoming a priest.
I'm becoming a priest.
Bullshit.
Bullshit. Oh, it's the only time we actually see Elwood's eyes because
Yeah,
he wears these shades.
They're always wearing
whole movie.
they're wearing eye protection. The eye are covering the entire movie. Except one scene, but he's wearing. Anyway, he's covering his eyes up. The point is, shades the majority of the time.
So the point of this is because they're going to go hunt for their band members. So their first on the list is was it Mr. Murphy and the Magic Tones? A big chunk of the band members. There's like 10 band members.
Oh yeah.
Like 5 or 6 of them form their own other like stupid band called the Murph and the Magic Tones. So they go hunt them down. They're at this little Mexican restaurant singing this song.
It's Italian restaurant.
So okay, they're wearing these fucking pink suits and shit like that.
It's like Elroy or was it Elroy?
Elwood.
Not Elwood, the other brother. Jake likes to say monkey suits.
Like fucking monkey suits, literally. So they sit them down at the table, and I guess he owes them money for something.
Because for a gig.
And
that's why he got arrested, because he
this is why he got arrested.
He stuck up a gas station for the money to pay off the band for one of the gigs.
Okay, so they say to them, putting the band back together. Because they never tell them why. They're just like, we just want to get the band back together. So long story short, they accept, and because why would you want to be in this fucking stupid ass band in a bar and no one's listening to you? You're singing these ridiculous ass songs. So they rejoin the band.
They talk about, well, you know where the other guys are. It's like, well, they all got steady jobs.
Steady jobs. They got lives and everything.
Married. Took one of them with them. The other one works in a restaurant. What was his name?
I don't remember the name.
Magic Man.
Magic Man.
Magic.
Mr. We gotta get to Mr. Fabulous.
Mr. Fabulous. That's who it was.
No, Mr. Fabulous works in that fancy gourmet restaurant.
Gourmet. He is the head host guy.
He's Mr. Fabulous.
Mr. Fabulous. See, everyone in the band, every band member has a name. Everybody, but we're not going into.
My favorite is Mr. Fabulous.
Mr. Fabulous. We're not going into like the Seven Dwarfs. No. You just have to look up yourself.
Okay, so their next target is this guy. So they go to this fancy gourmet restaurant. So they go in, and he's making like 30, 40 bucks an hour at this fucking place. He's making a fortune. So he's on the phone talking to a customer, and they both come in. And by the way, I guess according to the other band members, they've been wearing like the suits for 3 years straight. They never washed them. They stink. So they come in, and the guy's on the phone. He's like, "What the hell? Did you got 3 years? I thought it was 3 years." So this is their old band member, Mr. Fabulous. So he's like, "Hello, Mr. Fabulous. How wonderful it is to see you. We're here to dine. We're here to dine at this fine establishment. Come with me, Elwood. We're gonna go get come with me, Elwood. We're gonna go get some fine cuisine from this fine establishment." So they go to this table. Okay, you can describe.
They go to this table.
They act like jackasses.
They act like that's pretty much how we would act at a fancy restaurant.
They put the fucking the napkin in their their collar here, like. So they order the most expensive shit.
Most expensive wine, alcohol, champagne.
Champagne. Pretty much a smorgasbord of food, and they shove it in their mouths like this. They eat with their mouths open. They
pretty much
like this. They fucking play with their food
like 3-year-olds.
3-year-olds just to put pressure on Mr. Fabulous. We don't know his name, so we just call him Mr. Fabulous. So Mr. Fabulous comes over and he's like, "Listen, the fucking food here is expensive. The fucking soup costs $10.
Fucking soup costs $10.
Come on, I'll give me a cup of coffee." So.
The hospital will come in, bring us. She's like, "What the fuck's going on?"
Oh yeah, by the way, if you know who Pee Wee Herman is, he's actually in this movie for 1 second.
He's their waiter.
He's their waiter. Paul Newman, the guy who's famous for jerking off in a movie theater.
Pee Wee Herman did that?
Yeah, that's how he lost his career. He was caught jerking off in a movie theater.
Huh.
Yeah, fun fact.
That's what it was. Yeah.
So, let's get that out of our heads. So they offer him, "Okay, we want us to stop acting like jackasses. We join the band." He still refuses. So he walks away. So there's his family behind him, and they're complaining how bad they smell.
They're not fun to say family.
So we're gonna do this together. Jake turns around like this. He scooches over, and he's like, "How much for the little girls? The women. How much for the women?
Your daughters.
The daughters. How much are your daughters? Sell me your children. Sell me your children." He calls the waiter over, and they complain. He goes back over. He slaps the guy on the back. He's choking. He's like, "How much for your wife?" Like,
And he threatens, if you do not join the band, you'll be here for breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day of the week.
And he's like, fine, I'll rejoin the band. So let's get to the Nazis.
Fucking Nazis.
Yeah, we got Nazis in this movie.
So basically they're driving, heading for the next destination, and they're stopped at the roadblock because
The
Nazis.
Okay, I think I know who these guys are.
Well,
they call it Illinois Nazis. They call themselves the American White People's Party, the American Socialist White People's Party. So I guess they won some sort of court case, I guess, and they're having a rally. And while this is happening, there's a crowd around them, saying, "Fuck you, you fucking genocidal assholes, you fucking racist."
And
so the police are trying to contain them.
And Jake's just like, I fucking hate Illinois Nazis. So they just drive right through them, and they're like standing tall. They're like, oh shit!
They're standing tall with the fucking Z Kyle.
Yeah, and then they jump off the edge of the bridge, get out of their way, and everyone's like, yeah, they're off the
Like
bridge.
it or not, it's attempted vehicle manslaughter.
And stopping at freedom of speech, because technically they're allowed to do that.
Yeah.
But in real life, they would have to get permits, and since it would disturb the public, they get denied because they can say things, but there's a bunch of... This is when bureaucracy actually comes in handy and stop that shit. But not in this movie, because Nazis are fucking assholes.
They jump off the bridge into the water, and the head Nazi says, "Obergruppenführer, yes sir. Find the license plate number of that car. We're gonna kill that son of a bitch." So now they got the Nazis after him. They got the cops, they got Jake's ex-fiancée, and Nazis. So
Surprisingly, they live.
they've lived. And somehow, remember that cop that came to their window saying, "Oh, the fucking Nazis"? Shouldn't they be wanted by now?
They're too occupied by the Nazis.
Yeah, they recognize them. Because we just told you guys, they ran through a fucking mall and presumably killed a lot of people, and you would think they would be wanted by the local police? No. Like, that's one thing. I love this movie so much, but that's a flaw. Like, come on.
Well, again, they're more focused on how crazy shit's going on. They're not really giving the point is...
it's Chicago. Chicago is rampant with crime. Chicago. Okay,
Anywho.
so after the Illinois Nazis,
They go to that restaurant to find their one of their buddies, the soul food restaurant.
Yeah, there's two band members there, former band members. You got the black guy, and we're calling him the black guy. I don't remember his name.
Sorry,
and
I'm not racist.
the pedo-looking guy.
He's got long hair.
And a fucking mustache.
He doesn't look as cool as
And Aretha Franklin is his wife.
Is the wife.
So, blah, 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 blah. They go and they order, Elwood orders plain white toast, nothing on it. Just burnt. Burnt white toast. And Jake orders, 4 pieces of fried chicken?
Whole chickens.
Whole chickens.
And that's how the guy recognized, like, oh, it's the Blues
Brothers. So they go, oh my God, it's good to meet you. Then he debates with his wife, I want to go. And he's like, shut up, woman. Then there's this.
I'm the man, you're the woman, I can choose what my life's about. Remember, it is.
Aretha Franklin starts this fucking,
It is the 80s.
What's it called? Like a music video type thing. Oh, you gotta think. Then it's time to do me. I don't know.
And she sings beautifully.
She's a goddess.
She's got some sass in her music like we always love.
But unfortunately, her husband goes and presumably breaks up with her. So
he doesn't break up with her, he just goes.
He just goes.
Because I'm married.
Yep. So both of them go, and what happens next?
Alright, well, they go to they get the band back together, they all get in the car, and they all go to this, Jake's just like, oh, we're going to our next gig, and they're all
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, oh, we're going to that country bar, whatever the fuck it's called.
Okay, wait, we've got the flamethrower scene. So we cut to a scene where his ex-fiancée is at a, I'll say hello, Robin, but he's at, his ex-fiancée is at this, like, nail polisher place in, excuse him for 1 second, but she's looking through a book on how to work a flamethrower. We're like, oh shit. So we cut the next scene. They're driving to this phone booth to book a gig. So they have no gig. They don't even have instruments yet. So they try to go book a gig in this phone booth next to a propane tank?
A giant propane tank.
Giant propane tank. So she pulls up the flamethrower, fucking the thing blows up, the phone booth goes up in the air, crashes down, They're still alive, unhurt.
Because
Because
they're
of
on a mission
God.
from God.
We're on a mission from God. So they're still alive. And their only response to this is, "Hey Jake, it's like $100 worth of change here," because it's a phone booth. Do you remember the old phone booths? But so they go, they get their instruments. Let's get the Ray Charles part.
Well, we go to the Ray Charles part. Right? The actual Ray Charles is in this.
If you know who Ray Charles is, the famous blues player, but they get all the instruments, blah 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 blah. But this is the funny scene.
They get to
They
get to
booked
that
this-
country part because he didn't actually book it. They're driving around going to this long place. And he's like, and they're all about, where's our next gate? It's like, that one.
That one over there. It's
Some
called Bob's Country Bunker.
Some honky tonky bullshit.
Country place. So they go in, and they see on the, what's it called, the sign, like outside, saying, "Tonight only, the Good Old Boys Band," which is not them. So,
It's like, oh, it's a mistake.
it's a mistake.
Yeah.
Seriously, the Blues Brothers' triumphant return. So,
One night only.
So they go in, and they say, "Oh, we're the fucking good old boys." And the guy's like, "Oh, yeah. And here's a list of songs I want you guys to play."
Which they
tonight."
know none of.
It's all country bumpkin shit.
Country
They-
honky tonky bullshit.
like Hank Williams, Johnny Cash. I love Johnny Cash, but shit they don't know. They're blues.
Oh, I just broke it.
I don't know what was that about.
I hate country music.
That's why we can't have nice things, John.
Oh,
All right, so
That's what I say to that. Oh, you motherfucker.
all right, now we're even.
For now.
So here we go. So they go to the stage and it has like a fucking what was it? There's a thing guarding.
That's like a chicken wire around it.
Chicken
because,
wire.
you know, in those big honky tonky bars, they throw beers and glasses and all that shit, so the glass doesn't fucking, you know, cut up all the.
Yeah, they
fucking-
throw beer cans and shit, and that cans out.
It's
Good
just when,
bottles.
it's just when that shades come in
So
handy.
yes.
Oh,
Oh yeah. Yeah, actually, they like this.
yeah,
So
sure.
yeah. Oh man, my eyes. Whew. Okay. So they play their music. At first, it's blues. No one likes it.
So they play some
They start throwing
rawhide.
Rawhide. It's an old show from the 50s called Rawhide. I never watched it.
They
It's
play the theme music. I've never seen it. It's just something from the old
all the
time.
things I'm missing, fillers, love, and kissing. I'm really at the end of my ride. Giddy up, holla! And so Jake gets a fucking whip. Ha!
Next, get someone's cigarette out with a whip. And
So the next song is a lovey song. Stand by your man. You never wait. Stand by your man. Tell him that you love him. Like something like that.
So it's like they go, stand
By your man. There's one guy in the fucking crowd who's single. He's crying,
Cry drinking his beer, you know.
drinking his beer. You know, like me. I'm just kidding, but. All right. So after that, I guess they spent over what $300 on beer. The whole band.
So they like, so what they owe ends up trumping what they get paid for. And then, you know, they're like, oh, let's continue to get around. They tells the rest of the band, you better get out of here. They expect us to pay for the beer. And the real good old boys
So they
actually
get-
show up.
The real good old boys. I gotta describe it. This is fucking awesome.
Oh, the scene when they
It's so funny. So the good old boys pull up. They're all dressed up, and they walk over, and Jake's like, "Excuse me, gentlemen, who the hell do you think you are?" And they're like, "We're the good old boys." And he's like, "Well, I'm what do you say? Like, I'm from the office of the Union of Musicians, whatever he called it.
He's like,
Jay
oh,
Stein.
you know, he's asked for their
Identifications."
I-cards for their union
I gotta
cards.
say
Like,
this line. So the head of the good old boys, the lead singer's like, "Really? You're not gonna stop us from going in there. If you do, good luck trying to eat corn in the cob with no fucking teeth."
no fucking teeth.
You look pretty funny trying to eat corn in the cob, but
Fucking
wait, no.
Howdy fucking teeth.
I gotta say it again. You're gonna look pretty funny. You're gonna look pretty funny trying to eat corn in the cob with no fucking teeth.
That's it.
So they blah blah blah. They drive away without paying for their beer.
And then later, they call up their guy that used to book stuff, and they're at a fucking sweat place. They're all wearing the towels and whatnot. And they're like, come on, give us some places. He's like some Italian mucho guy, whatever.
Like a mafia type guy.
Kind of. Is a
So
wannabe.
in order to, he's resisting because they're a little known band. So then
And all the band places they used to play at are now swingers places, swinger bars, gay bars, whatever. People that don't like it, they show up they say, you show up in your suits, you'll scare them away. Then he offers them a hotel and says some word. He's like, oh, I know about being extortion because I've been extorted my whole life. He's like, forget about it. And then he's just like, Jake's just like, I got some information that your wife might
like to know.
It's like, are you blackmailing? It's like, if that's what you want to call it.
I call it like, we need this gig, dude.
He's like, we got it. He's like, all right, I'll give it to you. And then it cut, and then it moves the camera to and the rest of the band's like right.
The rest of the band's in the fucking room with them all naked and shit with the
towels
towels
on.
and stuff. This ain't Caligula, people. So unfortunately, there ain't bare titties.
And no penises for him.
And no not. God damn it! I want to see some. Unfortunate. No penis cakes for this guy tonight.
So they get this, and then they're driving around. They have this giant fucking siren on the top of their fucking car.
Okay, so they take down this. This is 1980 during the Cold War. So they take down this air raid siren that's supposed to signal like a nuclear strike incoming.
Put it on their fucking
car, and they hook it up to like a microphone, and they go advertise their gig. Oh, we're playing tonight at the Palace Hotel Ballroom. Come see us. It's ladies' night. It's free parking.
Yeah, they say ladies' nights as they go through a beach with a bunch of ladies.
Hot ass ladies, Too bad it ain't Caligula, man. They're not topless. So.
I know who the pervert is.
It's Quagmire. Giggity.
Let's not get sued for fucking Family Guy. Who gives a fuck? Anywho, alright, so they go through that, and at this hotel. They play at this hotel.
Okay, so they play at this hotel, and everybody in their mother shows up. All their enemies, the cops, in force too. Like at least 500 to 600 cops show up.
Oh yeah.
And thousands of police cars.
Before we get to that, let's forget the little scene that makes no fucking sense.
Oh yes, they run out of gas, and they show up to this gas station, and the gas station's out of gas. The tanker truck's late.
It does eventually come.
They start.
But as they're like, fuck this shit. A nice rich lady comes through with her car.
Very hot.
Very beautiful.
Very beautiful. She has a British accent.
No, British accent.
And
that's Australian. Not the point.
So Elwood flirts with this lady and says, "Hey, we got time tonight. We can meet up and blah blah blah."
She's like, "I got dinner plans." Like, well, in case that doesn't work out, there's a nice motel down the street. Let's meet there around midnight.
So I'm like, they're supposed to deliver this tax money to what's it called?
The people that owe the fucking rent.
Oh, they owe the rent in downtown Chicago by the morning. And if you're gonna go meet a girl, you're gonna be there until morning.
So basically, it was just a bullshit.
There was no point.
But it was still kind of funny, and nobody would ever get. Anyway.
So they don't realize that they're overfilling their gas tank. So the gasoline starts spilling all over the ground.
Because the tanker just come.
So they run off, and Jake's smoking a cigarette. He throws the cigarette out, ignites the gasoline, blows up the gas station.
As they drive away.
Killing the cleric, killing the truck driver.
Assumingly.
And their only response is, shit, we're going to be late for the gig. Well, there's a fiery hellscape.
And again, they stay calm, like nothing's going on.
Yeah.
Just two chill dudes.
Hurt my eyes. So.
You can't handle the shades.
Bitch.
I'm still wearing mine.
Okay, so they show up at the gig, they play their songs, blah, blah, blah. But, like I said, everybody they pissed off shows up. Over 500 cops show up, but there are thousands of cop cars. The good old boys show up with fucking katanas and baseball bats.
It's not katanas, it's just it's cut off axe handles. All things.
Yeah, baseball bats and what he said. And not the Nazis though, not the Illinois Nazis. They're waiting for him in downtown Chicago. So they do their gig, blah blah blah, and then they get offered a record deal, and they get $10,000, which is more than enough to pay the tax for the orphanage.
Oh yes, and so they give parts of the band, parts of it to Ray Charles for the instruments they used because it was an IOU.
Yeah.
They left, and the guy's like, sure, no problem, and they drive off, and it's a giant police chase.
Well, remember they run into the fiance. So they take this secret tunnel out of the hotel, and they're in like the sewer, like below. But then the fiance shows up with a fucking M16.
Okay.
It was an M16. She shoots at him, misses every shot.
Funny enough, she must learn how to shoot from the stormtroopers.
Yeah, shut up. You fucking Star Wars nerd. All right. Alright, so she goes on a tirade. I remained celibate for you, Jake. I waited for days at the altar while my family, my mother, my father, all my friends, 300 guests waited for you. And I was in celibate, by the way. Okay, we get it. You didn't have sex. And then I'm going to reenact this. So he walks over to her like this. Calm down. And she's like, please don't kill us. Please don't kill us. You know I love you, baby. You know I wouldn't leave you. It wasn't my fault. I lost the keys in my car. There was a flood. There was an earthquake. Like, there was a catastrophe. Please don't kill us. And she's still not budging, so he just does this. Hey, baby. He takes off his sunglasses. He's like, hey, baby. Hey. And she's like, Jake, honey. So they kiss. Let's reenact this. We're not going to kiss, but basically he does this.
And makes out with her.
Then he looks at Elwood. He's like, let's go. Throws her on the ground, just runs.
They do what we used to call, high school kids called in high school, sucking face.
I call it bumping gums. So,
all right.
Bumping gums. So, where's my phone go?
Right there.
Oh, okay. So, they run away in the car. She fires at him, and the cops hear these gunshots, and they gigantic police chase that.
And then they hear the thing: use of unnecessary force
to apprehend the Blues Brothers has been approved.
I've been approved.
Pretty much.
Basically, police brutality.
Shoot to kill.
Or whatever.
Yeah, pretty much. Shoot to kill. So there's two sections of the police chase. One, they're in the outskirts of Chicago, and
they got the fucking cavalry, they got the army, they got the boats, they got the choppers, they got the whole works.
So the Good Old Boys is involved in the chase. So we didn't mention this before the concert. They snuck into their camper that they're using. Elwood gets very strong industrial glue and puts it on the gas pedal. So when the guy presses the gas pedal, when he's on the highway, he can't let
behind
go.
The gas pedal, so even if he lifts off his foot, it won't go up.
So they're fucked. So during the chase, he keeps on accelerating. He can't control it, so he's going through the cops
into the lake.
Into a lake, and his last words to his his friend, is like, "Don't you say a fucking word." So the cops are still chasing them until morning. So
Chicago.
So
and
they're just sleeping, casually driving.
And remarkably, they don't run out of gas.
So Elwood turns to Jake, who's literally sleeping through all this. You notice that he was slouching in his car. He was sleeping. He's like, Jake, I gotta pull over. They go down this fucking steep hill off the side of the highway, and the cops, for some reason, let me remind you here. There's over 100 cop cars following them. They go down this hill. It's like a fucking demolition derby.
It's a pile up.
It's
a small pile up because more pilots are going to come.
They fucking crash. All of them crash, presumably killing at least maybe a dozen cops. Because they get fucking cars toppling over each other. You got one who literally smashes into a roof, like the driver's section. Pretty much decapitating who's ever driving that car.
He ran into a fucking truck.
This one.
Truck. Yeah, it was like those big trucks that carry shit. They drive in, and the truck driver just keeps going.
Yeah, they keep going. Yeah. So they drive all day till they get to downtown Chicago. And like he said, the dispatch said, well, the use of unnecessary force to apprehend the Blues Brothers has been approved. Pretty much shoot to kill everybody. So they go through this roadblock, and the Chicago police starts chasing them. They go through the city. More pile-ups. I'm presuming more cops die. And
they get piled up again on the sharp turn. They all just say, "Fuck it, motherfucker!" to get the.
They all get out of the cars. They fucking shoot.
And the Blues Brothers are like fucking down the street. They're not hitting a damn thing. But of course they're angry, so they're gonna pull out their guns. Bang, bang, bang.
Hey, Chicago police for you.
There you go.
So here come the Nazis.
Oh god. They drive past an alleyway.
So the one line from the leading Nazi's like,
and
there they are.
They're in multicolored cars of the same kind.
One red, one green.
Red, green. It's a couple of them. There's also a yellow one, I think.
That's true. So they're driving. He takes if you're an expert on guns, the leader of the Nazis, they take out a German Luger and they start trying to shoot them. I think one shot lands on their gas tank and
it's on their muffler.
Their muffler, yeah, and it starts leaking oil, it starts puffing up their windshield.
They're driving a foot like that, you know. I've tried.
And luckily for Jake, they don't shoot him when he's out the window because the gun jammed.
Because it's
God. So one of the cars breaks off because they're going into a construction area. They come to a dead end when they're on a bridge. The bridge cuts off, and they'll fall like 1,000. Like how many feet? How much?
They go down. Yeah, they're about to. Did you tell them the flipping they did? They went down. They were about to go off the bridge, and then they
slam the brakes.
They do the brakes. They do a whole giant flip back around, remarkably also turning around somehow and go out the other way, flying over the Nazis. They're like, "What the fuck?" And they go over the edge, and somehow they go up higher and
higher to the point they're higher than the Sears Tower.
And then they.
And on Nazi fashion, one of the Nazis turns to his leader and says, "I've always loved you." And they embrace. And then they fucking smash to the street. Then the second car comes in and crushes them, which means they are dead. So the whole city is on lockdown. They reach the tax collecting place, and they get into the place. They fucking pile up the door with everything they can to keep the cops from getting out. The cops show up. More cops show up. Then the fire department shows up. Then the fucking army shows up.
As I mentioned before,
there's like thousands of people. Thousands of cops.
Did you mention the fire department?
Yeah, fire department.
Gotcha.
Everybody and their fucking mother is there. Everybody.
Yeah,
everybody.
There's more police there than there are citizens.
Literally, it's like a siege.
It's fucking crazy.
It's a siege.
And they go in there and they ask, they barricade everything.
So eventually the cops and the army, they break through the fucking door, they rush into this goddamn place.
And the people in the front desk, the security guys are just like, first they see the Blues Brothers, they're like, oh, it's just that way, they're looking for the place to pay the thing. And all the cops and all the fucking people, all
the army, the fire department,
and their mothers come through.
And their mothers.
Not actual mothers, but the point. And he's just like, oh, squint them down that way. And they're just
Thank
like,
you.
Everyone goes around them, they're just like, they're just like watching them like, oh. Again,
like they're fucking screaming, like going down the hallway.
Men's and guns.
So all this time, the Blues Brothers, they're in the elevator, listening to peaceful elevator music. Outside, the fucking army setting up positions, the SWAT team setting up sniper positions. Thousands of cops are being. It's like a fucking siege.
Hut, 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 hut.
Oh yeah, they're all saying hut, 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 hut.
All the SWAT people. Hut, 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 hut.
It's like a siege. It's what it is. They surround the building with tanks. They literally tanks.
They're over the top.
There's jets going over. Oh my god.
The whole shebang.
So pretty much these guys are the early Osama bin Laden. So
according to them, I guess.
So they get to the place where they gotta pay the money. They bombard the door. So the huge fucking mob of a mixture of cops, firefighters, and army, they reach the door, they barricaded. So their solution to get to the door is to shoot the door
fuck
out of it. Stand back! Fire! They fucking shoot the door down. And fun fact, young Steven Spielberg is the tax collector. So this is so funny. They get their check, they pay the money, and as soon as they get the check, handcuffs.
So the movie ends where it begins.
In jail. And I like how the part they get arrested as soon as they're done with their business because God is done with them.
Like if you know anything about Christianity, once you've done God's duty,
you're done. No further use. As soon as that check gets signed, here's your receipt. Handcuffs. And they're all fucking like at least 100 guns on them. Like.
And how should we do this? Should we list off the crimes?
Let's list off the crimes. Let's
first it goes through a red light.
Okay, so that's like a minor thing. You get a ticket.
Oh yeah, jumping over the fucking bridge, but they don't get caught with that.
So then when they go over the record through that little computer thing, license is suspended. The vehicle's unregistered. He has multiple parking violations. Arrest driver. Unpaid parking tickets.
Yeah, and resisting
arrest.
Police basically fucking with their own police investigation. Disturbing the peace.
Disturbing the peace by driving through a fucking mall. Killing.
Potentially vehicular manslaughter. Or attempted.
Still evading police.
Evading police, no matter what. Resisting.
And everybody in this goddamn movie, besides one nice Italian lady, is either an accomplice to their crimes or has committed a crime. Because the band helped them escape from the cops in their hotel gig. And the ex-fiancée tried to kill Jake many times.
But she didn't get arrested. No,
she blew up a fucking building.
And when they were running away, she was shooting at them, and everybody joined in.
Boom, and the cops are right
on a bridge where the car was parked.
So that's intervening in a police investigation. And she blew up a fucking building. full of innocent people. So so in her case, she has attempted murder and murder
damage of property.
Damage of property.
Also, Goodfellas also have damage of government property.
Government property because they drive through a fucking whatever it's called, a tax collector place.
Yeah.
So
government-owned buildings.
What else? They also I would say murder because they blew up that fucking gas station on accident.
And any of the police who died in the pursuit.
So they go to prison. Both of them go to prison. So do the band members because they're accomplices. And that's pretty much the movie. And it's really good. It's actually a good movie. It's a cult classic. The Blues Brothers.
We shall end this movie with our shades off.
We're on a mission from God.